how to read NCERT of all three subjects to crack NEET. Because whosoever is studying for NEET, whosoever is studying physics, chemistry, biology in CBSE board, they must be reading NCERT. But reading NCERT is also an art. Everybody is reading, but some of them are being able to understand what is there, how it should be studied, and how the meanings of in between the lines could be cracked so that they can attempt the answers in NEET question paper. So everybody is wanting to know how to read NCERT of all three subjects, how to make notes out of NCERT, because every single line is becoming important. And I know there is something in your success which is moving in and around your technique to read the NCERT. And now this is time to reveal the secret. Over to you, Akansha.
There is no as such secret, but I can definitely tell my own way of studying NCERT. Everyone has its own way. What strategy I followed for NCERT, that I'll be sharing. First of all, we'll start with biology. And first of all, I'll tell you what's the importance of NCERT. And I believe 88 questions out of 90 are completely straightforward lines of NCERT or in between the lines. So you know that it has great importance. Now, how I studied, like I'll define it in few points. First of all, highlighting things in NCERT of biology doesn't work for me. So because I think each and every point is important. So I used to make short notes out of it. Rather than highlighting the points, I used to make a notes, like one chapter if I'm studying, I'll make around 2 or 3 page notes in it, in which each and every point that is there, which is important, either in the form of question I'll frame it, or I'll make a bulletin form of notes. But each and every point that is there in NCERT, whether it's important or whether it's as small as any data given, like this year a question came that according to Robert May, how many species are there which are possible. So that was a statement of NCERT. If you will not revise it again, you will forget it. So I believe that if you make short notes, and rather than revising the NCERT again and again, if you revise the short notes, that will definitely help you. So in biology, I used to do this way. Next very important thing that I used to do for biology was I used to discuss it with my friends. Like I had one very good friend of mine. So we used to discuss, like after completing one chapter from NCERT, me and my friend, we used to sit together, and I used to ask questions from her and she used to ask questions from me. Like one page we used to frame around 15 to 20 questions. Like we have never left even a single knot also. Like it is compactly packed or it's loosely packed. We used to frame questions like that also. So that used to be very fun learning, and it helped us enhance our grip on NCERT very well. So these are the points which I think I have done different from others in biology. Now I'll talk about chemistry. So chemistry, first of all, I'll talk about inorganic chemistry. Inorganic chemistry is same as biology, but I think it's more difficult. It used to be more difficult for me to memorize all the points. But I'll definitely suggest that in inorganic chemistry, don't go beyond NCERT. Don't read even a single statement beyond NCERT. NCERT is more than enough. But each and every point which is given, and each and every box that is given. Like this year, if I give you an example, there was a question from 7th period. They give the atomic number and they ask what element is it. So if you have read NCERT, it's very easy for you. If you have not, then it will become difficult for you. So for that, what I used to do, again, I used to make a short notes of around, like P block, if I give an example, it's there in 40 pages in NCERT class 12th. But I made short notes out of it in around 6 pages. And in short notes, you don't have to leave any point. Like some people make notes in which they leave some points and they write only the important points. I used to reduce the font size. Like I used to write so small that in a page only, I can cover around 100 lines or around 50 to 60 lines if a page is small. So that when you read it, like if you will open your NCERT, you will see 40 pages. Then your mind will say, oh my God, this is too much to study. But if you'll see that notes, you will feel like, okay, only 5 pages are there. So your mind gets relaxed. So I think that helped me. So I revised, I think each and every inorganic chapter I've revised 5 or 6 times. So make short notes out of it. There also you can use the same trick. You can discuss it with your friends, ask it with your friends, and make it a fun way. Then I'll talk about organic chemistry. There I followed a different policy. There I didn't used to make short notes of each and everything. I used to make notes of all the data that is given. Because in NCERT, if I remember, paraphenol, orthophenol, and there were many data given, like of boiling point, melting point. So make it in a table, like each and every chapter, make 2 pages, take 2 pages, and there first of all write all the reactants and the products. Don't write the mechanism of it, because that will lengthify it. Once you learn the mechanism, you don't need to memorize it again. So you just write the reactant and the product, and then the data. So 2 pages of one chapter, and that you revise again and again. So this way I did organic. Physical chemistry, if I talk about, first of all, I used to study it from notes. And as such, there is not much there in NCRT, but there are some chapters in class 12, like surface chemistry, which is extensively given in NCRT. So there you have to highlight it in book itself, because you have not to learn all the pages. You don't have to learn each and every line there. So you have to learn only few important data. So there highlighting works. So there I used to highlight the points in the book itself, and I don't used to make short notes out of it. Then we'll talk about physics. Physics NCRT I have read in very last time, like once you do entirely your syllabus, like from module, first of all, I used to do it from my Akash module. Then I used to revise my notes. Then I used to practice around 300 to 400 questions. And after doing all this, then I went to NCRT, because physics NCRT is very extensively written and it's very nice. But if you start reading it from the beginning, you won't understand it. So I used to study it at the last. And there are very few points which are very important. So you have to highlight it in the book itself and then revise it. Like I'll tell you one question which came this year only. It came that copper resistivity curve was asked, and if you go by the concept, 2 answers are possible, like a straight line also and a parabolic curve as well. So it was a direct question of NCRT. In NCRT, there is a chart given in which copper, nichrome, all the things are given. So there, if you have read it, it's very simple for you to answer the question. So physics NCRT, I'll suggest that do it after you have completed everything, and at the last when you'll do it, you'll get an extra edge over the other students. So this is what I have to say.
Wow, very, very